Says he doesn't want to be failing in home life. Alex, you're failing in life in general. Let's talk about it. It's not just about failing in home life, you're failing in life. You're a player who runs around, who's decided to come on Love is Blind, waste poor Ashley's time, who's actually looking to settle down, play in her face, try and play in her dad's face, but he clocked your shit, right? You're a waste of time. You're like, come on. And says that she should grab him and just, and push him on the bed. This conversation is so crazy. Episode 8. So let's go ahead and jump in. So we see all the couples doing different activities. This episode starts, you see Christine and Vic are playing tennis. Alex and Ashley are doing like mud mass. And Brittany and Devontae are at the gym. Okay, so we go back to Jessica and Chris. Jessica sees Chris's apartment for the first time. It's very neat and like put together, like for a guy's place, it was pretty immaculate. I was not surprised because based on how Chris is and how he likes to do all these athletic things, he just seems like someone that would have like a very put together apartment. I wasn't surprised by that at all. He basically opens up about the fact that he told his parents that they might not have children, and he says that they took to it pretty well. Jessica is obviously very happy to hear this because she was worried about how Chris's parents would feel about the fact that they might not have children at all. She was happy to hear that they would be okay with that. Jessica comments and basically says that Chris's apartment is gorgeous. Chris goes to Jessica's home for the first time. Her home is very, very nice and well decorated. She had this like forest themed bedroom that I thought was really, really cool. And she has a lot of clothes, which is not surprising because there's something about Jessica, like with her 6-inch heels that she likes to wear. She's giving like, I like to dress up. I like to put on a good fit. Chris basically mentions that it would be a change for him to be out in the suburbs, like where Jessica is now. And Jessica mentions that they're not really that far from like the city, like Columbus, Ohio. Then we go back to Alex and Ashley. Ashley basically mentions that she has a meeting with her boss where she will basically be discussing moving up within the company. Alex says that he wants to make sure that they're on the same page about moving because he doesn't want to get stuck in Ohio, right, in Cleveland. Ashley reassures him that she also is open to moving. He says he wants her to reach out to her manager quickly. And I'm like, Ashley just said she would reach out to her manager. So Alex, what is the rush, right? Ashley is literally like, what is the rush? Like I said, I would reach out to my manager. I'll probably talk to him tomorrow and we will discuss these things. Ashley says that they have been back for only like 5 minutes. And Alex says in that time period, he's already gotten a job and has been able to reach out and make that happen quickly. And I'm like, what the actual fuck is Alex talking about? This is so weird. Alex is tweaking, guys, because I'm like, this conversation was so unnecessary and strange. Like he's freaking out for no reason. Okay, Alex then says he likes to plan, but he's very fluid. And he's having concerns that Ashley might not be able to be as fluid. Ashley says again that she needs to talk to her boss and will let him know tomorrow. So once again, I'm like, Alex, can you calm down? Like, what is the rush? And let's keep it real. And then Ashley then says she's open to opportunities in another location, right? That she's not literally hell-bent on staying in Cleveland. But let's keep it real, guys. After we heard Alex describe all the places he's traveled to and the jobs he's had to Ashley's dad, we're starting to realize that Alex is he's really scared to be in one place. Like you can see the fear on his eyes or in his eyes as he's talking to Ashley. Like he is fucking scared. I can see the fear in his eyes. Like God forbid they get stuck in Cleveland, Ohio. I don't think Alex would make it, guys. Like he's freaking out. And the fact that he's freaking out so much about this goes to show me that he's not ready to settle down. Because once you settle down, right, you have to get used to mundaneness. You have to get used to having boring days. You have to get used to being in the same place, seeing the same people. Alex is not ready. He's not ready. It's very, very clear he's not ready. He also knows he's not ready. I mean, for somebody to be tweaking like this over having to leave Cleveland, Ohio, this girl has a whole job that she enjoys. Let her figure it out. What is the rush? What is the rush? Something is really not right. But this conversation continues. Then Alex says he also wanted to bring up that if he puts things in the fridge, he doesn't want it being rearranged by Ashley. Ashley asks if she's done that since she rearranged the water he put in the fridge. He acknowledges that she hasn't. So Ashley says it was one time and that they already talked about it. So Ashley's looking at him like, why the hell are you bringing this up again? Like, Alex is actually so annoying. Ashley says it was one time. Okay, so he mentions that when he also folds his clothes, he's starting to wonder if he's doing it right. And Ashley says he can fold his clothes however he wants. He says he doesn't want to be failing in home life. Alex, you're failing in life in general. Let's talk about it. It's not just about failing in home life. You're failing in life. You're a player who runs around, who's decided to come on Love is Blind, waste poor Ashley's time, who's actually looking to settle down, play in her face, try and play in her dad's face, but he clocked your shit, right? You're a waste of time. You're like, come on. Come on. The way this man is tweaking, guys. Ashley says last night they had an intimate date. They were rubbing mud on each other. And then after that, and then they came home and Alex basically said he had to leave. He ran out. Ashley says she didn't love that. Alex says he feels like he's basically initiated enough when it comes to like the bedroom stuff, especially when they were in Cabo. Ashley's like, she asks, are you being serious? And Ashley says they haven't had anything intimate at all since coming back from the honeymoon, since being in the apartment essentially. And that physical touch is very important to her. He then says that she should grab him and just, and push him on the bed. This conversation is so crazy. Ashley says he left, and that she didn't even have the opportunity to do that because he wasn't at the apartment. But in my head, I'm like, what man is going to be telling a woman to push him down on the bed? Like, what the fuck? Oh, I can't. And then Ashley mentions that when they are in bed, he tends to be on his phone. Okay, she then brings up that Alex said to her in Cabo that the physical connection wasn't there between them. That's something that we didn't see. That's a conversation we didn't see. Alex says to her that he is attracted to her, but that she's not the type of girl that he normally goes after. So this is the first time we're seeing Alex say this to Ashley's face. Maybe he said this to her in the past, but this is the first time we're seeing it from what I know. So I guess my first question is this, or I just want to comment on the fact that I hope people can keep it clear or just know that Alex's issue with Ashley is not the fact that she's not his typical type. I just want people to know that. Like, he is not sitting here pining, thinking about Brittany and her dark features because that's what he prefers. Alex is scared to commit to anybody in general. If he left Ashley and decided to go get with Brittany, mark my words, Alex would find a reason to run from Brittany too. Okay? Alex is scared. He's not ready for commitment. As he's speaking to Ashley, you can see the fear in his eyes. The guy is not ready. Okay? So this is not about the fact that Ashley is blonde, Brittany's brunette. That is just a very simple way of looking at this entire situation. Alex has issues. And he's looking for a reason to cut and run because this is what he's always done. This has to do with also him moving around all the time. Somebody that moves around to that degree, I don't believe that he's just ready to settle down. I mean, let's keep it a buck. He's literally actively hitting on Brittany while he's engaged to Ashley. That behavior alone isn't showing anybody who's willing to commit to anything. Whether it's a partner, whether it's staying in a specific particular location, whether it's showing up for someone, he has problems. And these problems cannot be summed up to the fact that Ashley is blonde, but he wants somebody that looks like Brittany who's brunette. That's just a very simple, ridiculous way of seeing things. And Alex's issues run deeper than somebody not being his type. Mark my words, they run deeper than that. It's not about that. Alex has issues and they're showing, okay? And Alex mentions that he's also being cautious about her period and that he doesn't want a kid and that he knows that after a woman's period, that is when she's like reaching, the level where she can be the most like ovulating and that she could possibly get pregnant. Alex says she's not trying to trap him with a kid and that she's not trying to trap him in Cleveland, Ohio. So Ashley is picking up on the fact that like this man is low-key scared. She's even picking up on it and she's trying to reassure him that she's not trying to baby trap him and she's not trying to keep him in Cleveland, Ohio, so that Alex can calm down, okay? She says she's sexually frustrated. Alex says, why didn't you F me last night? Ashley once again says he left the apartment, so she didn't have the opportunity to do that. But if I'm being honest, him even saying these words alone would have pissed me off. This isn't even about him leaving the apartment. Like, this is just a bizarre conversation. She says she needs a little bit more and that they haven't done anything since they came back from Mexico. Guys, Alex is not feeling Ashley like that. Like, once again, yeah, something is clearly not right. Ashley's picking up on that. Ashley says they sleep with a pillow between them. Oh my God. Imagine having a babe like Ashley and you're putting a pillow between you guys in the bed. Where do they actually find these men that come on Love is Blind? These are the questions that I have. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. I can't. I just don't know what's going on. Alex says he feels like he's walking around on eggshells around her and brings up the water and the fact that, and the thing about folding clothes again. Ashley gets up and goes to the bedroom and says she needs a minute. And I don't even blame her because this is crazy. Like, this conversation is so crazy. You can tell she's clearly frustrated. Like, come on now. She comes back out and says she will basically work on all the things that Alex thinks she needs to work on, which I don't even think are really big deals at all. I think Alex is just scared in general, and his fear is coming out in critical ways where he's criticizing Ashley and looking at this and he's just fucking scared, and he doesn't know how to show that, right? He's scared, period. Alex then says he will work on intimacy and building that between them. He says he hasn't touched her for 4 or 5 days because of her period. And Ashley is like confused. Like, just because I'm on my period doesn't mean you can't touch me. Like, come on now. What are we doing here? That's crazy, He brings up that he then brings up that he was an accident and that it changed his mom's life. And guys, the fact that Alex is bringing this up again, I think it's just not great for somebody to feel like they were a mistake, in a way. And I think that really has bothered him and gotten to him. And I think that the way he grew up, what's happened with his dad, his relationship with his mom, all the moving around, I think Alex needs some healing and some therapy because clearly there's something up there. Like, why did he bring up again that he was a mistake? Like, or he was an accident? I'm sorry. Like, that's a weird, I'm like, She says she wants this to work out and doesn't want him to just run from her because he does have that lifestyle where you're constantly on the run. So Ashley's starting to pick up on Alex's fight or flight, right? He's like sitting here tweaking, like she's starting to realize that he might just run away from her, right? She's starting to pick up on that he's clearly afraid. It's obvious, and Ashley's very valid to have that fear because I do see Alex just running away in this situation. I can't imagine them saying yes at this altar, guys. I cannot at this point. I think Ashley's committed, but it's obvious that Alex is not. She says she doesn't want him to get bored with her. As she's saying this, Alex literally looks petrified, guys. Alex says he's willing to do the work and be in one spot. Do I believe him? hell no. Even the way he said it, I was like, I don't believe you. Like, I don't believe a word that comes out of your mouth. So yeah, guys, I feel for Ashley because I don't think this is going to end well. Then we go back to Amber and Jordan. Jordan meets Amber's brother for the first time. The brother asks basically what Jordan cooks best because we all know that Jordan is like a great cook and likes to cook. Jordan says he really likes burgers and that he makes homemade fries. We know that Amber makes waffles for her daughter almost every day. So Amber was saying that she made waffles and that Jordan made chicken, right? So they kind of, worked together and had chicken and waffles, which sounds so good right now. Her brother says he's always rooted for Amber and wanted her to find someone, and that her last few relationships were with pretty shitty people. So her brother is acknowledging that Amber has not had, the best dating history. Jordan says he's crazy about her and that she's the first person he met where he thought to himself, he could see himself having children, basically, which I'm like, that's a really good sign. And he says that he's never really had this feeling with anybody else before. Her brother says he's all for it and hopes this works out. I thought that they got along really well and that this went really smooth. Out of all these couples, I feel like Amber and Jordan are still going strong. I have faith, guys. Then we go back to Christine and Vic, which is another couple that I think is also going very strong. We see that they're kind of walking around a garden and they're talking. She says she wants to teach Vic how to swim. They say that they have like a 2-year window that they're kind of planning where in 2 years they're hoping to have a house and hopefully a child. Christine brings up that she's a little younger than Vic, so she's asking if that 2 years works for her. And Vic says that should be fine. Christine kind of brings up that her mom is getting older and that she has a fear that her mom might not be around when she has children. So Christine also doesn't want to wait too long to eventually start a family. Vic brings up having a biracial child, and Christine acknowledges that she grew up in an area that was very rural. And by that, I'm assuming Christine probably didn't grow up around a lot of diversity. But she says that obviously having a biracial child, she would want to make sure that they grew up in a place where they see people that look like them, which I 100% agree. That is very important. Vic says he wants candid conversations about the history of the country and the world, and for their kids to know that the world is not colorblind, which I think is also extremely important. Christine asks if he has any fears about having a white woman as the mother of his children. Vic is honest and says that no, he actually does not. Vic says that biracial children sometimes feel like they don't have a home and that that's something that they will both have to navigate together, right? Because that is something that I have heard before. So that's something they will have to work through. Christine brings up that the only thing she's like a little concerned about is that there will be a reminder that she will not always be able to understand or fully relate with her own kid when something is like a really big deal. Like at the end of the day, she's trying to say that she will never really know what it's like to be a person of color in America, right? And I like that she's acknowledging this. I like that they're having these conversations. I like this couple, guys. I like them together. I'm rooting for them. Like I really am. I think that they both come across as very genuine. And I like that Christine is, aware of, or at least she seems like she'll be aware of what it means to have a Black child, right? A biracial child. So I'm glad that they're having these conversations. All right. Then we go back to Brittany and Devontae. Devontae meets her parents and younger brother and wife for the first time. Devontae says he's one of 5. Brittany says Devontae naturally does things in the apartment that she just loves. So Brittany is also speaking very well of Devontae. The family asks how the reveal went. Devontae says he was sweating before the reveal. The dad asks when did he realize Brittany touched his heart. Devontae brings up his grandfather, explains that his dad wasn't in his life, and it kind of explains that because he didn't have a dad, he really wants to be a husband and a father and really do things the right way. And the dad basically says divorce is not really an option in their minds. They don't really believe in it. Like they think that anything can really be worked out in the end. I noticed that the dad seemed to be taking really well to Devontae. As the dad is saying divorce is not an option, he gets emotional, saying that his mom saying that his mom died last year and that, you know, his dad made a vow to his mom that, you know, it would be like till death do us part. And that's a vow that he has kept and that he wants to keep. So clearly you can tell that, you know, Britney's family takes marriage very seriously. Britney's brother's wife, so Britney's sister-in-law, also mentions that she's never seen Britney so happy and glowing before, and that, you know, she's in full support of this, and, you know, can just see that Britney really, really likes Devontae. And yeah, Britney's dad and Devontae then have a conversation separately, and he shows Devontae a photo of Britney as a child. It was a really, really cute photo. And, you know, the dad is just saying that, are there any reservations that he has before the altar? And Devontae says that as of now, he doesn't think so. The dad says he hasn't seen Britney any more moved by anyone else. So the dad is also noticing that Britney also seems very happy. We see the dad saying he wishes the wedding was tomorrow. I was like, okay, let's calm down now. So at the end of the day, the dad was really impressed by Devontae. And if I'm being honest, based on how this went and how much even the dad and the family embraced Devontae, it kind of made me mad, because I don't want to say made me mad. Like, it's a good thing that they like him, but obviously based on what we know he's been putting Britney through the past couple of days, I just hope Devontae doesn't end up breaking Britney's heart. I really do. And like, Devontae can clearly see Britney has a really sweet family, you know? So I mean, I can't say that I'm rooting for this couple, because after what we've seen for the past couple of days, I'll have to see how things progress moving forward. It seems like things have gotten better between them, but I'm definitely not going to hold my breath about Britney and Devontae. Like, we shall see. So then we go back to Bree and Connor. Connor meets Bree's mom. They talk about how they connected in the pods. Connor says he hasn't always been vulnerable, but was able to get that way with Bree. And just, you know, to caveat, like, Bree's mom looks just like Bree. I feel like they were like twins. Like, you could just tell that was Bree's mom. Bree and her mom basically talk separately. Bree says, you know, that she loves Connor, and that, you know, she can see that he really loves her. And the mom says that the dad will definitely question Connor a little bit more and kind of grill him more. Bree says his apartment was a disaster and that there was a keg and a Christmas tree. So she's telling her mom what she saw, but says she's very much a go-getter. As much as Connor supports her emotionally, she wonders if Connor will also be able to really challenge her. I think this is where Bree is like hung up. And I do know what Bree means, because she mentioned in the pods that she wanted someone to put her in her feminine. Like, she said this, and I just don't think she feels that way with Connor. Bree says Connor knows her just as much as her mom. Bree basically also says that she needs more confidence in her and Connor's relationship before Connor even meets her dad, which I found to be pretty interesting. So at this point in time, Bree doesn't even think she's ready to introduce her dad to Connor. The weddings are not that far away, so I found that to be pretty interesting. All right, then we go back to Emma and Mike. Emma meets Mike's parents and some of his other family and his brother. Mike's family seems really nice. The parents basically ask how they got to this point in such a short period of time. Mike says they talked about everything and that it's really hard to understand this process unless you're in it. The dad asks Emma about past boyfriends and if any of them were Italian, because dating somebody Italian is like a totally different thing culturally. Emma, I believe, says she did have an Italian boyfriend in the past. The mom asks if Emma likes to cook, and Emma says she loves to cook and that she's so happy that she has somebody to even cook for instead of just having to cook for herself. And then the dad asks if they discussed children. Emma is very honest, and she says to Mike's parents that she is on the fence about children. The parents definitely don't look happy about that. They were just like, what? And the mom says, how can she see long-term without being on the same page about kids? The mom says, if you're married and 6 months from now, Emma says she doesn't want kids, what happens? Exactly. Like, the mom is asking the questions that make sense, guys. And let's keep it a buck. They knew that they were misaligned on kids in the pods. So the mom is looking, at them like, how did you even get here? When you're not even on the same page about having children. She is asking the questions that I know us as viewers, we've been asking. Like, how are you even here right now? It doesn't make any sense. Mike says his mom should calm down. So Mike is kind of trying to caution his mom not to like go in on Emma too much, because Mike is obviously aware that like they've had these conversations before. So, he's trying to kind of caution her. Emma says their questions are valid and that she doesn't feel attacked at all. Emma opens up about being adopted and her birthmarks, the surgeries she went through. She's honest about her health concerns and how she doesn't want her kids having to go through what she went through. And, I think when the parents heard this, they probably understood more of where Emma was coming from. But the parents make a very, very strong point to say that they don't want them breaking up 6 months later because of something like, oh, somebody wants kids and the other person doesn't, because that can easily be avoided, right? Like, it doesn't make sense to go through with someone and then break up 6 months later based on a conversation that you have been having, right? Like, it doesn't really make sense. And, the parents say that if they decide to move forward, they will accept her. Mike's mom says that Emma is a beautiful person. So it seems like they took to her really well. But you can tell that they are concerned about this whole children thing. And in my head, I'm just like, now Emma doesn't just have to worry about Mike being on her neck about kids. Now Mike's family is also going to be giving that pressure. Like, to me, this doesn't make any sense. Tell me if it makes sense to you guys, because it makes no sense to me. Then we go back to Jessica and Chris. They're at their apartment. Jessica asks where Chris was last night. In my mind, I'm like, where was Chris last night? What's going on? So Jessica says he didn't let her know that he was going out to have drinks with a friend. Chris says he doesn't need to be in constant communication with her. And in my head, I'm like, did Jessica ask for constant communication? Like, what kind of response is that? Jessica says he doesn't, but that she's his fiance. So there is a sense of him having to kind of keep her in the loop. Jessica says if he needs time to decompress, that he should communicate that with her. And then Jessica says that Chris mentioned that he needed like a 13-hour break. Chris denies that he said that. And Jessica is like, why would I make that up? Like, that is a specific number that you said. And so Chris is like, okay. She says she sent a text saying she loves him and that he didn't even respond. Oh my God, guys. This is the one couple that had no issues. I'm like, what is actually happening right now? Chris then asks if she thinks that they have a good physical connection. Well, why is he asking this? Jessica says she does. Chris says that's super important to him. He says he wants to try and then says he wants to pick his words carefully. And I'm like, oh my God, he's about to say some bullshit. Like, I'm just literally preparing myself. Like, what is this guy about to say? He says he wants to see this through because they got engaged for a reason. Okay. He says in the normal world, he dates people that do CrossFit. Somebody who likes to work out all the time and has a different type of, and before he can finish his sentence, he actually doesn't finish that sentence. And Brittany, sorry, what's her name? Jessica chimes in and she's like, a different type of body. And he doesn't really respond to that. But it almost seems like that's what he was insinuating. Then he says he's more, he normally is with somebody that does things like Pilates every day. He basically says he doesn't know if it's there for him. I'm actually speechless, guys. Like, the way these couples have just been exhausting me. Like, what do you mean? Chris knew that Jessica was not the kind of person to do CrossFit in the pods. I know for a fact that they had conversations about this. He knew. And what I'm confused about is when they had the reveal, do you guys remember how many times Chris kept saying that Jessica was perfect? She's perfect. She's perfect. I can't believe I have this connection with someone. And now I see her and I'm obsessed with her. And she's just my type. And she's not too tall. And she's perfect, perfect, perfect. What changed? She's so perfect. And now you're saying you date a girl that's, you're into women usually that is nothing like Jessica. If you're into women that are nothing like Jessica, why would you choose a girl from the pods that is nothing like the girls you normally date in the real world? Who told you to do that? Okay, I can't get too worked up because this is a reality TV show. I have to remember that there's just so many redonkulous people on it every season. So with that, I'm gonna end that there. Chris is so annoying, and I don't like how he tried to make it seem like things were so good between them to then hit Jessica with this. It's mean. And to hit her with things that he knew about her in the pods. Like, who told you to go choose a girl that you don't normally date in the real world? Why didn't you go for Brie? The one that's going to be doing the ice baths with you and running all your ultra marathons. Come on now. This is crazy. With that, this episode ends. Guys, please let me know what you think because this episode was crazy to me. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.